Hello everyone, my name is Shelby and this is the series where I reveal what is inside these mystery pottery molds I found on Gumtree. Hello and welcome to Mould 51. Now this one's not such a mystery, but I'll kind of let it linger just for a little bit. So we've got our first tile mold. So a tile mold's sort of like a flat mold where you pour it solid. It says scarecrow magnets on the side, 1985 by Donna's Moulds. The registration number is D228. So you can see inside that we've got some cutie little scarecrows that are perfect to adorn the fridge. There was no way I could keep this a mystery from you because like even pouring it, you can see what's inside. So it says on the top to pour solid. So the way the plaster molds work is that they absorb from the surface where the clay is touching. So what happened to this mold was that it became quite concave. So I had to keep topping up to make sure it was solid and flat so that the magnets could stick to it. And then what I did was I scraped off the excess of all the buildup of the clay to make it a flat surface. So that was a little bit of a trial and error process of figuring that out. But since doing that, I found out that you can also just sponge it down when it's concave to make it sort of flat. And that's just purely so that I can stick the magnet somewhere. So this mold wasn't such a mystery, but I'm excited to do it nonetheless because I think magnets are such a cool addition. I love collecting random kooky magnets and making it dress up my fridge. But I love this design because it has a really nice pagan-esque feel. It's like a cutesy Halloween. It's like borderline cute Halloween, but depending on how you paint it, you can make it really creepy. And I'm going to go for the creepy route. So I was thinking about how I wanted to paint them, and I decided to go with an autumn color palette and do a mix of yellows, oranges, and browns, and sort of do combinations of these colors to complement each other and have them consistent across all three magnets so that they look like a nice little set, but they also look different enough that they're their own piece. So the way I did that was by using the same color yellow but doing a different part of each magnet in that yellow. So for example, the one magnet had the yellow moon, one magnet had yellow hay, and one magnet had a yellow hat. And that was just the way I could make them together and feel like they're part of the same family. So I went in and it's actually really tricky to paint the details on these because they are so detailed that I felt like it was going to take me forever with the fine liner brush to really slowly paint by numbers in all the little sections. So what I decided to do was a similar technique to an earlier reveal, which was the watercolor wash of the color over the piece. So I mixed those colors up and then I watered it down on the bench and then just slowly washed it over all the areas, not worrying about how opaque or thick or consistent it was across the whole area, and just going for it, because the whole idea of this is I just want to lightly color the areas, and it doesn't matter if it goes outside of the lines or it merges or swoops into each other. I'm actually going to make it separate by adding a black underglaze wash, which is what I didn't do in that earlier reveal. I'll link it in this YouTube. So I kind of had regrets that I didn't do that in that YouTube because I did really want to see how a watercolor effect would look with this black wash over the top, but I get to do it this week, so that's a plus. So I'm adding that black now, and then the idea is you wipe it away with a really wet sponge, and it reveals the design, but the black remains in everywhere where it's indented any crevice. So when looking at these, I actually really like how spooky and creepy they look, and it's given them this 70s spooky Halloween nostalgia for me. I really like them, and I'm really impressed, and I kind of think about what could have been in that earlier YouTube when I was going to do it and then I chickened out because I was worried I was going to ruin the piece because they were so dainty and delicate. But I really like this, and maybe it just means that I have to try it out again on that earlier reveal. But I was thinking that maybe the face details needed a little bit more black, but I painted them on to try it and I didn't like it, so I sponged that off as well. I popped them in the kiln. I didn't glaze them because I kind of wanted them to have this chalky feeling, and I absolutely love how they came out. I think It has such a lovely vintage nostalgia, like something that you would find in an op shop or on your nan's fridge. I really like them. They're so different to what my style is, but I would definitely buy these if I saw them at the op shop. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit arrogant. I don't know what the word is to say, but I cannot imagine these painted any other way. This is the first mold where I've looked at it, I've painted it, it's coming out exactly how I imagined it would. Really beautiful, but I also can't imagine it painted another way. Like, I don't think you could do it. You could do it in other colors. It would still look cool, but I feel like this is what it was meant for. Like, that sounds really arrogant. I feel like I'm a really humble person usually, but I just think that this paint job matched exactly what I think this piece was suited for. So now to make them useful, because at the moment they're just tiles, which actually would be really cool if you put it in like a mosaic. You could put them in a mosaic, that would be cool. But I'm adding some magnets. This isn't branded at all. It looks like I'm doing some branded promo, but I just got these magnets off of eBay and they're really good. Like, they stick between a finger's between them and they stick. They're really strong. And I add E6000, which is a really good glue for ceramics, and I attach those. You need to let them set for a little while. I did let them set because I wanted to show you them in use, but here they are. They're going to live in my studio now with me and the molds. What do you think of this week's reveal? They are so groovy. I really like them. I also wanted to take this time to say a massive thank you for 20,000 subscribers that we hit this week. I'm so happy you love them as much as I do. Here is your sneak peek for next week. Thanks for watching.